Those of you on the front lines protecting society cannot be soft, and you cannot be weak. You don't have that choice. If you are, and you stay that way without making any changes, you are putting yourself at risk, you are putting your partners at risk, and you are putting society at risk. Welcome to First Responder Fitness with Carl Wimmer, where armor is forged through mental, spiritual, and physical preparation. And welcome to Frontline Fitness. I am your host, Carl Wimmer. It is an absolute pleasure to be with you today. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be, whether you're plugged in and on Spotify or YouTube, wherever the case may be. I welcome you here. So I want to ask you, the listener, when the hell did we become so soft? When did humans, people, become so soft? It wasn't that long ago that our ancestors would wake up with the sun, go out and track down an animal to kill, drag it home, feed the family dinner with the animal that they harvested. And in between that, they're out plowing the field, they're planting, they're working from morning until night. And that's just the women. And today, well, we have become soft. You know, if you watch any historical fiction movies, particularly like the gladiator shows, the Roman shows, and it shows the legions who are just shredded and big and tough, and they, I mean, who hasn't seen the show 300 and seen these Spartan warriors who were raised up in harsh conditions and trained from childhood to be Spartan warriors? Well, in many ways, our modern-day law enforcement officers, our modern-day firefighters, you are today's warrior. You are literally the person on the front lines guarding the rest of society from the predators and from those who would prey on the weak. But how can you protect the weak when you're the weak? Are you weak? Are you soft? That's a real problem today. It's a real problem that I want to address. And I don't want to be condemning or condescending, but this is a real issue. This is a real problem that we need to get to the bottom of. And we need to understand that we can't be weak. We cannot be soft. Those of you on the front lines protecting society cannot be soft, and you cannot be weak. You don't have that choice. If you are, and you stay that way without making any changes, you are putting yourself at risk, you are putting your partners at risk, and you are putting society at risk. Understand that. Understand that if you are comfortable being a softy, if you are comfortable being under-muscled, overweight, obese, and deconditioned, and you're just fine with putting on the uniform of the law enforcement officer or the firefighter and going to work in those conditions and continuing your career in that way, in many ways you're being very selfish because you're putting everyone else at risk for your comfort. That's wrong. You know, but it's all of society these days. My wife and I just returned from a cruise and love vacations. In fact, those of you that are looking forward to retirement, that's one of the things that we're working towards. We want to be healthy enough that you can go snorkeling and scuba diving and doing the things you want to do on a cruise ship or whatever the case may be. But my wife and I, we like to take the stairs on the cruise ship. It didn't matter if it was 16 floors or if it was 3 floors. We took the stairs. The only time that we wouldn't take the stairs, of course, is on those dress-up nights, the dinner nights, when she was wearing high heels. And, of course, you got to take the elevator then, just for safety reasons. I noticed a trend. And it wasn't just because the obese people. It wasn't just the overweight people. It was everybody. They would take the elevator no matter how far they had to go. For instance, my wife and I, we were on floor 17. I had to go down to like floor 4 or 5 to get to the dinner place. If we're dressed up, we're going down to the dinner, and we head out to the elevator. And elevators on cruise ships are just absolutely a nightmare anyway. They're slow. They take forever to get to you. And we wait, and the doors open slowly. And we get on, and the doors close slowly. And, everybody's pushing their various buttons. I cannot tell you how many people would get on the elevator on floor 17 and push the button to go down to floor 16. Like, unbelievable. And my wife and I started noticing this. And of course, we're not going to call anybody out. We're not going to be rude, and we're not going to say anything. But she and I paid attention anytime that happened. And like I said, it was not just we're not talking the overweight, the obese, or even those with special needs, people with disabilities, those who are in wheelchairs, those who are on crutches, those who are on walking boots. And there's, everyone, all sorts on cruise ships. We're talking your everyday normal person, which, of course, your everyday normal person, 2/3 of them are overweight or obese, or over 60%. Of the United States is overweight or obese. So, you're dealing with soft bodies. You're dealing with people who are not used to being comfortable, people who don't spend time at a gym, people who don't think the way you and I should be thinking. But it just occurred to me on that cruise ship how soft and weak the average person is. And I'm not even talking physically, I'm talking mentally. We avoid discomfort at almost any cost, don't we? I mean, we don't like being uncomfortable. Oh, it's too hot, turn on the air conditioner. Oh, it's too cold, turn on the heater. It's got to be set right, perfect. Oh, I got to go to the neighbor's house. How far is it? Oh, I'm going to drive. We just don't like being uncomfortable. And my friends, I'm here to tell you that is a problem. That is a societal problem. A society that loves, and I'll use the word addicted, a society that is addicted to comfort and ease is a society that I don't think can last. A society addicted to comfort cannot sustain itself. And when the protectors of that society are addicted to comfort, we've got a serious problem. I'll tell you a story that happened just today. I like to go on a walk first thing in the morning. Before I eat anything, I like to get a victory out of the way, a physical fitness victory. And I put on a weight vest. I wear a weight vest to go walk. I don't recommend that you do that. Because if you're overweight or obese, you already have a lot of extra pounds on you. You don't need to throw on a 20-pound weight vest. I choose to throw on a 20-pound weight vest now because I am much lighter than I ever have been. As an adult. I'm much lighter than I was obviously when I weighed over 300 pounds. And so now that I am down to my goal weight and my goal body fat percentage, I will throw on a weight vest to go for a walk. I didn't want to go this morning. I was tired. I didn't sleep very well. And my knee wasn't feeling really well, really good. And, it just comes with all the injuries that I've sustained in all the years of competitive fighting, competitive powerlifting, and a career in law enforcement. I have injuries. I have old reoccurring things. My knee didn't feel real well. Didn't feel real good. But did I stay home? No. I put on my weight vest and I went walking. I took my dog for a walk. And I was glad I did. But later that day, it was time to go work out. And the same issues came up. The same issues came up. I didn't want to go. I would have much rather just sat on the couch, put my feet up, and watch TV. And I was telling my two sons, including the one who just graduated the fire academy, I was telling them, boy, I am lacking motivation today. And they said to me, really? You're not motivated to go to the gym? I'm like, nope. And then I made the joke. I said, look, I haven't been motivated to go to the gym for years. I have not run on motivation for years. I now run on discipline. Discipline. I do not allow my body to tell me what to do. Now, I don't want you to get pedantic here. If you're injured, you need to rest. If your doctor tells you to rest, you need to rest. What I'm saying is that I don't allow my laziness to dictate to me what I do. And so I walked to the gym and I had a great workout, a great push workout. I do a push-pull leg split, and it was push day, and I had a great push workout, which I love. That's my favorite thing. I was a great bench presser in my day as a world champion powerlifter. And I love working the presses, the shoulders, the chest, everything. And I had a good workout, even though I didn't want to go. But I'm sure glad I did. This entire theme of softness and weakness got me thinking. And I want you to be thinking about this. Every single day we wake up and we have to make decisions. Yeah, every day, listen to this. Every day you wake up, you have to make decisions. You have to make decisions on whether or not you are going to live a soft, coddled, gentle, Barbie doll life, or if you are going to condition, train, and sharpen yourself as a leader in society. Now, if you're a regular citizen, perhaps the risk to you or the cost benefit analysis, maybe you just decide you're going to live a soft life. If you are a police officer or a firefighter, you don't have that choice. You remove that choice from your tool belt the day you become a public protector. The day you chose to become a policeman or a firefighter is the day you gave away the right to live a soft, cushy, marshmallow life. Because you are choosing to protect society. And if you're choosing to protect society, you need to be prepared to protect society and to protect the weak. We have to choose and make a choice every single day. And here's the irony. If you don't choose, life will choose for you. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, very simply put, if you do not choose difficult and hard things right now, your last 30 years of life are going to be hell on earth. Trust me on this. You've all seen it. You've all seen those 60 and 70-year-olds who can barely walk, or maybe they can't even walk. But if they can walk, they shuffle down the street with a cane or a walker. Or when they go to the store, when they go to your local Walmart, they have to get into the little motorized scooter, if there are any left, because they're all taken by people who are soft and don't want to walk around Walmart. I have handicapped people in my family. I have 2 boys who have severe disabilities. So I am not talking about those with actual disabilities, but I am talking about those who volitionally choose to ride around instead of walk, because walking is hard. Okay? So we look at these elderly people who can barely move, who can barely get out of bed, who have lived the last 10 or 20 years of their life largely handicapped because they've lost muscle mass, because of illness, because of sickness, because their body has deteriorated. Does that look fun to you? Seriously. As you look at old age, what do you picture? Does being largely disabled the last 20 or 30 years of your life seem fun and easy? Of course not. But guess what? That's where you're headed if you choose soft and easy right now. And that's why this episode is called Choose Your Hard. Choose your hard. Because life is hard one way or the other. It's either going to be hard by your choice when you are younger and you can make it hard. Now, what do I mean by that? Working out, following a diet and nutrition plan, not filling your body full of garbage all the time, prioritizing your exercise, your sleep, your weight training, your cardiovascular exercise. That can be hard. Nobody likes being uncomfortable. Nobody loves beating themselves up unless you're a sadist or a masochist. You don't enjoy torturing yourself. But it's worth the discipline knowing the benefits that you get. I think of the Bible verse in 1 Corinthians where the Apostle Paul says, I discipline my body so that it will do what I want it to do. We need to discipline our bodies so it will do what we want it to do. You see, you can choose now. You're 20 years old, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s even. You can choose now to do some difficult things. Make a meal plan. Prioritize protein. Cut out crud, junk, processed foods as much as possible. Prioritize your cardiovascular exercise every day. Prioritize weight training 4 times a week and don't miss. Be consistent. Struggle, strain, train, work. You can choose to do that now and live a healthy life into your 60s, 70s, and 80s, one where you are vibrant and functional and moving and doing the things and relatively disease-free. Or you can choose soft now. You can choose to wake up after having binge drank yourself silly, so you didn't sleep well, and wake up just barely in time for you to get ready for work, rush out the door without a good, healthy breakfast, grab a donut on the way, grab whatever sugar-filled breakfast pastry you choose, head out the door, get in your patrol vehicle, head to the fire station, head to the police station. You arrive there, and there's probably more junk food there waiting for you. Snacking on junk food throughout the day, never thinking about what you're eating, never thinking about what you're drinking, never thinking about these things. Go through your patrol shift or your fire shift doing the bare minimum, just enough to not get you fired. Go home, feel like, oh man, I had such a rough day, so it's time to pop open the cold ones again, and you start drinking, before dinner. Then you have a completely unhealthy dinner, unhealthy snacks. You sit around watching TV, and then you drink until you go to bed, and then you do it all over again. You can live that kind of soft life. You can live that kind of life that leads to a soft body, a soft mind, and maybe it's comfortable for you. But you have to choose your hard. And by choosing easy now, you are by default choosing hard later in life. Now, what are you choosing? Nobody would raise their hand and say, hey, give me diabetes for 100. Give me heart disease for $1,000, Alex. I mean, no one's going to raise their hand and say that. But that's what you're doing. By living a life of unhealthiness, by being, if you are in law enforcement, by being one of the 8 out of 10 who is either overweight or obese, or the firefighters whose 7 out of 10 is either overweight or obese, you're choosing a life of future illness and future medical problems. Instead of a wonderful, amazing retirement, again, you're going to be doctor hopping. You're going to be inventing games that involve which doctor shall we go see today. Your schedule will be full of doctors. I looked up for you. I just Googled, and I challenge you, just Googled. After this episode, get on your phone, get on your computer, whatever the case may be, and Google risks of obesity. Risks of obesity. And go to the CDC list. I'm going to read it to you here. I have it right here in front of me. The CDC list of risks of obesity. Type 2 diabetes, boom, right off the chute, right out of the gate. Type 2 diabetes. How many of you have known somebody with type 2 diabetes? Or maybe you have type 2 diabetes. What a disastrous thing to have. Type 2 diabetes is you're a ticking time bomb. Look at your feet. Look at your toes. Look at your legs. If you're risking amputation, because over time, type 2 diabetes leads to artery disease in the feet and neuropathy that is brought on. And you ultimately, you start losing toes, you start losing appendages on your feet, your legs, your feet. Does that sound like a fun future? Or does that sound hard? If you choose in your 20s, 30s, and 40s to live soft, then you choose a potential for type 2 diabetes. Does that sound easy or soft? No. Choose your hard. Continuing on, from the CDC website, infertility, high blood pressure, heart disease, certain types of cancer. These are all complications caused by or exacerbated by obesity. Certain cancers. You firefighters, cancer is the second leading cause of death to you. You probably want to mitigate cancer as much as you possibly can. Are you, through your health choices, or are you making it worse? Stroke, gallbladder disease, fatty liver disease. Fatty liver disease. And it's not even caused by alcohol. But how many of you are not only overweight, but you're also, swilling a case of beer every day or every other day? You're killing your liver. Even if you don't drink, if you have fatty liver disease because you are obese, fatty liver disease eventually can lead to cirrhosis of the liver. And your liver dies. and you need a transplant. You need someone to give you need someone who's taking care of themselves to give you a part of their liver. High cholesterol, sleep apnea. Who's had that before? I've had that before. When I was world competitor in powerlifting and I weighed 300 pounds, I had sleep apnea. Was on a CPAP machine. Chronic lower back pain. How many of you police officers have chronic lower back pain? You get out of your car at the end of the day and the back aches, and maybe your feet have fallen asleep and you just hurt. You know, if you lost the 50, 60, 70 pounds that you're carrying around with you, I promise you your back will feel better. Your knees will feel better. Your life will be better. Obesity leads to arthritis, osteoarthritis, particularly in the knees. I can't help but think that some of the knee issues that I deal with today, even though I am at an ideal body weight and body fat percentage, I can't help but think that many of the knee issues I have are because I walked around so stinking heavy for so stinking long. One of the things that was mentioned is high blood pressure. High blood pressure, which is caused by obesity, can be caused by obesity. And almost my entire adult life, from mid-20s until just a few years ago, I always had moderate blood pressure. I never went on blood pressure medication, but it was probably warranted. And I'm here to tell you, if you have high blood pressure, you need to take care of it. And if it requires you to go on medication for a while until you can get your body weight under control, it is so critical that you get your blood pressure under control. They call it the silent killer for a reason, because it kills you. You need to get it under control. So if you need to get on the medication, I suggest you do that for sure until you can naturally get off of high blood pressure medication by losing weight. Losing weight. I have zero issues with my blood pressure now. In fact, I check it nearly every day. I have an at-home blood pressure machine. Last time I checked it at a doctor's office, it was 106/52. So I have great blood pressure. Some of you might think that's too low. It's not. It's healthy blood pressure. It's just that you're so used to having high blood pressure. But high blood pressure can lead to these things, according to the American Heart Association. Stroke. Stroke. Does that sound easy? Again, I am drawing you a picture between two different choices that you have. You can choose to live soft and weak and a marshmallow-filled life right now, and then deal with all of these health issues later. Or you can choose hard, difficult things now. And when you get older, I'm not saying, obviously, you're still going to die. I mean, that's the 100% lottery. We all die. But you're going to age very, very differently than your friends and your coworkers. You're going to have an easier time when you're old. You're going to enjoy retirement, the golden years. You're going to be able to go on those cruises, travel the world. You're still going to be functional instead of one of those who has a stroke that puts you out of commission. That should terrify you. But high blood pressure leads to strokes. High blood pressure leads to vision loss. Does that sound easy? Does that sound soft? No. High blood pressure leads to heart failure and heart attacks. Shocker. You want to get yourself a heart attack? You want heart failure? Does either of those sound easy? But by living a soft, cushy life right now, when you could be doing something about it, you're choosing that. Make no mistake. What you end up with, in large part, is the consequences and results of what you choose or choose not to do. You DARE officers recognize that, right? I taught DARE for a while. What is a consequence? The result of something you do or choose not to do. Does that sound familiar to you DARE officers? It does to me. That's a consequence. Your consequences of choosing to be soft and comfortable and never ever pushing your body, the consequences are devastating. Sexual dysfunction. My goodness. That one is enough right there to convince me to exercise. Hopefully some of you men and women understand that would be a devastating thing to a marriage, a devastating thing to a relationship. High blood pressure can cause sexual dysfunction. It's one of the top things listed on the American Heart Association website. You know, I don't know about you, but in retirement, sex doesn't end. You should want a thriving, vibrant, passionate sex life until you die. Sex doesn't end when you're 80 years old, when you're 70 years old, when you're 60 years old. If you're 40 or 50 and your sex life has already ended because you have high blood pressure, because you're obese, because your body can't do what it needs to do, it can't function, my friends, you're missing out on life. Life is passing you by. Don't let it pass you by. Kidney disease, kidney failure, all consequences of high blood pressure. And high blood pressure is only one of the consequences of choosing obesity. And yes, I say choosing obesity because we didn't get fat overnight. We did not get fat and obese, and we did not get metabolic disease overnight. It came on slowly as a result of choosing softness. Life is hard. You know the saying, life is hard. It's harder if you're stupid. It's kind of funny, but I prefer to say life is hard. It's harder if you're weak, if you are unhealthy. It's harder if you choose to make your life soft and cushy. That's when life gets hard. You know, I hadn't mentioned this too much, but I need to talk to you parents out there. Your kids are watching you. When I told my boys, I don't have a lot of motivation today, they were surprised. They think that I live off of motivation. They think that I am always motivated to work out. No. I use that as a training, as a teaching opportunity to tell them that, no, I'm not motivated, but I'm disciplined. Your kids need to see by example what it means to struggle, what it means to have a warrior mentality, to embrace the suck. You see, that's a very common saying in military circles and in SWAT circles. I was a SWAT team leader for many years. And I also use that when I'm coaching people and training people, that you just simply need to embrace the suck. You should look for ways to make life harder, not easier. And that goes contrary to everything that you're wired to do. You're wired to be a lazy bum. You're wired to just take the easy route. You're wired to choose softness and coziness. But you can't. That is why I put the weighted vest on. I put the weighted vest on to go work out, to go walk, because it makes it harder. I walk to the grocery store if I don't have a lot of things to pick up. I put on an empty backpack. I walk to the grocery store and I'll put the stuff in the backpack. I'll walk home. But if I drive to the grocery store, let me ask you, when you drive to Walmart, Do you drive up and down looking for the closest parking spot? Do you hope you get the closest parking spot? You know what you should be doing? Park as far away as you can, because one, your car will be protected. If you have a fancy car, you don't want it scratched up. And two, you're winning around the edges. Instead of the rest of the world that's looking for ways to make life easier and softer, you are looking for ways to make life more challenging so that you can overcome that challenge and be stronger and better for it. Instead of finding excuses not to go to the gym, you are finding excuses to go to the gym. You are rearranging your schedule, and I know it's hard. You're busy. I've heard people comment back to me after talking about the top 5 things I would recommend you do to get into shape, to lose fat and gain weight. Number 1 being make sure you're going for a walk before you eat every single day. Number 2, get 150 minutes of zone 2, moderately difficult cardio every week, 150 minutes a week. Number 3, lift weights, right? Prioritize your protein. Okay, those things. And people commented back, boy, you must have a lot of time on your hands, because I don't know when I would have time for all of that. You can make excuses all day long, guys, my friends. You can make excuses all day long. But you can either have your excuses or you can have success. Do you have to wake up earlier to get your workouts in? Then do it. Do you have to stay up a little bit later to get your workouts in? Then do it. We're going to have a whole conversation about the importance of sleep. So I do not recommend that you cut into your sleep, but I do recommend that you cut into your Netflix. I do recommend that you cut into everything else that you are wasting your life with, just a little bit. Just a little bit. How many hours a day are you scrolling through your phone? How many hours a day are you debating people online on Instagram, TikTok, whatever? How many minutes a day are you spending talking to people you don't know about topics you really don't know that much about, and about things that just simply don't matter, instead of prioritizing your health? It's so much easier to just chill and scroll, chill and flip the channel, chill and drink beer, chill and eat Twinkies. It's a lot harder to say, instead of 20 minutes of Twinkie eating, I'm going to spend 20 minutes walking. It is about your priorities. Choose your hard. Because you can choose to work out today, and that's hard. Or you can choose to eat Twinkies and sit on your butt all day today, and that's easy. But it will catch up to you, and that is not easy. Choose your hard. I hope that this makes sense to you. I hope that it opens your eyes to a world and to a vision where you see yourself as the warrior you are. You have chosen what I consider to be the most honorable profession on the planet. You are the front lines. You are the last hope for society when we turn to violence and destruction. You bring peace. But you can't bring what you don't have. You cannot bring strength. You, police officer, firefighter, hear me. You cannot bring what you don't have. You cannot bring strength, power, and the ability to defend other people if you do not have strength, power, and the ability to defend yourself. You owe it to everyone around you to arm yourself with health, fitness, and strength. Get yourself in condition. Make those choices now. Choose your hard. Choose to be healthy. I hope this makes sense to you. Comment below. Say, I choose healthy. I choose hard today. I choose fitness. I choose strength. Is that what you choose? I hope so. Comment below, subscribe, share this with your friends, your family. They need to hear this. Until next time, be good to yourself, be good to others, and as always, stay safe.